Hello everyone and welcome back to me, Shiva Wilson, and my channel, which is all about legalizing recreational flower in the UK. Now today I've got a different video for you. It's all about psychosis and schizophrenia and how that relates to flower and the spiritual experience of psychosis itself. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about psychosis and schizophrenia, both of which I have had. And schizophrenia is a diagnosis that I still have on my medical records, and I'm being treated for it using antipsychotic medication at the moment. So that's a little bit of a background about me. This is something I've personally been through. Psychosis and schizophrenia is something that I still have, but is being treated and managed, and it basically doesn't have an impact in my life anymore. So, psychosis, what is it? Psychosis is a mental health condition characterized by a loss of touch with reality. Individuals experiencing psychosis may have delusions, which are false beliefs, hallucinations, seeing or hearing things that are not there, disorganized thinking, and difficulty perceiving reality. All of those things I have had. Psychosis can be a symptom of various mental health disorders, including schizophrenia. So what tends to happen is if you have a first episode of psychosis and then your psychosis goes on for longer and longer, eventually they diagnose you with something like schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder. And because psychosis is only supposed to be like a short-term thing, but if it happens for a long-term period, then they diagnose you with schizophrenia. So what is schizophrenia? Schizophrenia is a chronic and severe mental disorder that affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. It is characterized by symptoms such as hallucinations, delusions, disorganized thinking, lack of motivation, and social withdrawal. Schizophrenia typically develops in early adulthood and can have a significant impact on an individual's daily functioning and quality of life, which it doesn't for me, but it did in the past when I wasn't being treated. Treatment often involves a combination of medication, therapy, and support services to help manage symptoms and overall well-being. So I get medication, I don't have therapy, and my support service is seeing my doctor every few months or so. So now let's talk about flower. This is a channel about legalizing flower, and I'm talking about psychosis, which is something that we've been told flower can cause. And so how does this make sense? I'm advocating for legalizing cannabis. I said the word. I'm advocating for legalizing flower, and yet I've had an experience of a mental health disorder which flower could have contributed to creating. Well, let's see. Flower has been associated with an increased risk of developing psychosis, particularly in vulnerable individuals. Risk factors include genetic predisposition, early exposure to flower, high potency flower use, and heavy or frequent use of the drug. The herb, I should call it. Young people are generally more at risk due to ongoing brain development. So I used flower at an early-ish age. I think I was 15 or 16. I'm not exactly sure which age. It's more likely to be 16, I think. And so that's the risk factor there, using the drug too early in life while there's my brain was still developing. So that's where the psychosis began, I think, when I was younger. Had some flower, broke my brain a little bit, and then later on the psychosis came along. So I was talking with ChatGPT, as I tend to do, about psychosis. The way that it's presented factually doesn't... Oh my God, I've got something in my beard. Sorry. Terrifying news, ladies and gentlemen. He keeps things in his beard for later. So I was talking with ChatGPT about psychosis. The way it's presented is kind of scary, but the experience that I had with psychosis and schizophrenia was one of a spiritual experience unfolding for me. And ChatGPT says that's a very interesting and complex topic, It's natural to explore the spiritual dimensions of your experience, especially when dealing with something as profound as psychosis. There are a few ways to think about this. The role of the mind. Schizophrenia can involve altered perceptions and a disconnect from reality. It's important to remember that these experiences are often rooted in neurological and biological processes, even if they feel very real and spiritual. So, ChatGPT is just dismissing the spiritual angle there, saying that it's rooted in brain processes. Yeah, even if they feel very real and spiritual, well, it did feel very real for me and very spiritual. I was talking to gods, angels, not demons, fairies, energies, and I was having all sorts of impressions of energetic phenomena, which all comes from a new age spirituality, basically, and being in touch with the universe and seeing signs and synchronicities and making meaning from them. That was all part of my disorganized thinking. But for me, it was very real and spiritual. So then it says, cultural and religious interpretations. Different cultures and religions have varying perspectives on psychosis and mental illness. Some traditions view these experiences as spiritual awakenings or connections to the divine. Others may see them as disruptions in mental balance or illness. So for me, I would have loved it if I was in a tradition that viewed my experience as a spiritual awakening or a connection to the divine, because that's what I was experiencing, was literally like being awakened to my senses and connecting to gods, angels, fairies, energies, and the divine, in that God would pass me messages and I would make meaning from them, and then I'd go off and act in strange ways based on the thinking that I'd got from the gods. Personal meaning. You might find, I said that strangely, you might find personal meaning or insights in your experiences, even if they are rooted in schizophrenia. These insights can be a source of strength, growth, or even artistic expression. Yep, I guess they can. The insights, what insights did I get? Well, it's hard because as soon as the medication kicks in, all my spiritual insights just go straight down the toilet, and I don't have them anymore. So it's like, at the time, psychosis, yes, I was getting lots of insights about other people's behavior, the world, the way things work, and newspapers, reading meaning into the newspapers, like a deeper level of meaning. And yet, when I was medicated, and I have been medicated for a few years now, it all just disappeared. So it's hard to really take those insights with me, unfortunately. It's crucial to approach this topic with a balance of critical thinking and respect for your personal experiences. You may find value in exploring spiritual practices like meditation, mindfulness, or engaging in your chosen faith can provide comfort, grounding, and a sense of purpose. So this is just general advice that ChatGPT is giving me. Support groups. Connecting with others who have shared experiences can help you feel less alone and gain different perspectives. Therapy. A mental health professional can help you process your experiences, explore your spiritual beliefs, and develop healthy coping strategies. Well, I think the medications is covered it, basically, for me. That's all I needed to keep me on a level, to stop me going off into spiritual heights and delights and flights of fancy, and believing Jesus is talking to me, believing that the gods are talking to me. Remember, there is no one-size-fits-all answer to the spiritual aspects of schizophrenia. It's a personal journey that requires self-reflection, open-mindedness, and professional guidance. So, that is what I have to say about psychosis and schizophrenia. For me, it was a very spiritual experience, and I may be able to go into more detail about what kind of spiritual experiences I was having in later videos. But for the meantime, just think about this. A person with schizophrenia who is now being treated is still advocating to legalise recreational flower in the UK. Good night.